Screen Directors Playhouse was one of a number of radio shows that brought popular movies of the time to the radio audience. It followed on the heels of the Screen Guild Theater, the Screen Guild Players, and of course that old chestnut, Lux Radio Theater, which began in, does anyone remember when it really started? Want to guess? Come on, come up with a guess. Oh, you cheated. She's right. Thank you. Anyway, in this form, the directors were, in this form that we're doing, the directors were always introduced and were able to promote their new films or talk about their last success, and along with them they brought the star that brought in the money. Tonight, I hope you are all as tired of having to be careful of being politically correct 24/7, every day. Every once in a while, we really should step back and laugh at ourselves. Please be informed that the start of our next presentation just may offend some of you, and if so, you definitely have our permission to quietly leave. But also be notified, be informed that you may miss some good laughs and enjoy the story, which incidentally ends well. So here we go with the second show of the evening, originally aired on Saturday night, April 30th, 1949.
From Hollywood, the NBC Theater presents Screen Director's Assignment. Production, The Trouble with Women. Director, Sidney Lanfield. Star, Ray Milland. The Hollywood Screen Directors present a comedy with an apology to psychology, The Trouble with Women, starring Ray Milland and introducing the director of the film, Sidney Lanfield. It was in the days when vaudeville was bright and shining that a soft-spoken young comedian happened to be performing in Hollywood. It also happened that the film studio at the time was looking for a clever new comedy writer. The comedian got the job, and that's how our guest screen director tonight was ushered into motion pictures. He stayed to become one of Hollywood's most skilled directors, the creator of such fun-filled entertainment as My Favorite Blonde, Standing Room Only, and The Well-Groomed Bride. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of The Trouble with Women, Mr. Sidney Lanfield.
Thank you. After an introduction like that, I think I should mention that a comedy is only as amusing as its story and its cast. As for the director, well, he just puts those two things together. In the case of The Trouble with Women, it was a particular pleasure, both because of my great admiration for Ray Milland and because of the story itself, which presents a completely cockeyed approach to romance. Now, here it is. The Trouble with Women, starring Ray Milland, and in his original role of Professor Gilbert Sedley, with a Mary Jane Croft as Kate Farrell.
I'm from the Morning Journal, Professor Sedley. How about a statement on your new book?
Yeah, you beat up any women lately?
Sorry, no statement.
Have a heart. We're only reporters.
If you people are from the press, Professor Mealer and myself can give you nothing but sympathy.
Perfectly correct, Gilbert. You people have distorted my fiancé's views, made him a laughing stock.
Martha Motherly is the only one who's been writing all those stories. We're on the level.
Professor Sedley, just a word about your new book, The Subjugation of Women.
Well, if you read it, you'll find my entire theory stated there.
We don't read, Professor.
Just make a statement, that's all we ask.
Oh, very well. As a professor of psychology at Midwest University, I have proved conclusively that the human female harbors an unconscious desire to be dominated and occasionally beaten by the human male.
Wow. That's it. That's the stuff.
How about it, Professor Miller? How does it feel to be engaged to the man who says women should be beaten?
Our engagement concerns only Professor Sedley and myself.
Hey, Sedley, I've got a purely scientific question.
What is it?
You gonna beat your fiancée with your bare hands, or are you gonna use a stick?
Professor Sedley, this is unbearable.
Dr. Dawson?
In my position as president of the university, what will the Board of Regents say?
Well, is something wrong?
Wrong? Have you read Martha Motherly's column?
No.
Oh, here, read it.
It hasn't been more than 2 weeks since Professor Sedley of Midwest University published his book, The Subjugation of Women, but already 14 cases of wife-beating have been reported, and local hospitals have administered treatment to 5 husbands. Oh, but this is adolescent. It's asinine. It's malicious.
Sedley, she also says that you dabble in hypnotism.
But dabble? Dr. Dawson, Martha Motherly has gone too far.
Exactly. Sedley, you're going to sue. You're going to sue the Morning Journal and Martha Motherly.
Great story, great. Kate Farrell, you're the best Martha Motherly this paper ever had.
Aw, Joe, don't you think we're being kind of hard on him?
Yeah, keep it up. City desk, Joe McBride. Oh, hello, boss. What? He is? How much? Oh, okay, I'm your city editor, ain't I? I'll think of something. A fine reporter you are. Screwball Sedley suing the Journal and Martha Motherly for $300 grand.
But he can't sue me. I'm Martha Motherly.
Say, I've got an idea. Maybe you can do a prison story. I was a woman convict.
Joe McBride, you told me to write that story.
A story, not a libel suit.
Well, what's libelous about that article?
3 misquotations, 4 unproved statements, 57 damaging innuendos.
Well, maybe something was wrong with my typewriter.
Kate, I've got an angle. If I get you out of this mess, will you marry me?
Well, just come and see me on visiting days. So what's the idea?
Look, we said that Sedley likes to hit women. He objects. Okay, all we have to prove is he does like to hit women. Katie, you're just the type.
No, Joe, no.
I'm kidding. How hard can a professor hit?
Well, he wouldn't hit a total stranger.
So, get to know him. And what's the easiest way to get to know a professor?
Now, wait a minute.
You're going back to school, Katie.
Joe, I can't be a college girl again.
Oh, so what's a college girl? A pair of Bobby socks with glasses.
Do you really think it'll work?
You're a cinch. Now get going, Martha Motherly, and don't come back without bruises.
And now, Miss Farrell, if you'll sit down.
Well, thank you, Professor. Oh, what a charming study.
Miss Farrell, I've become highly interested in you during the past few days.
Why, Professor?
I'm referring, Miss Farrell, to your attitude in class.
Oh.
For some reason, you bring every discussion around to the question, would I hit a woman?
Well, would you?
Under certain circumstances, yes. Why?
Well, it's just that I wondered what a man like you would think of my problem.
And what is your problem, Miss Farrell?
I like to slug men.
Oh, indeed.
Yes, right in the kisser. And if I hit you, Professor, would you hit back?
I would, yes.
Now, isn't that nice?
Miss Farrell, I must say that with your, I've never quite conceived you as the slugging type.
Oh, yes, I do it very well.
Yes. That perfume you're wearing, Miss Farrell, what is it?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Jasmine, I mean, come in.
Gilbert!
Oh, I was just leaving, Professor.
Oh, hello, Agnes. Good afternoon, Miss Farrell.
Goodbye, Professor Sedley.
Well, Gilbert?
An extremely interesting case, Agnes. She slugs men.
Really? Gilbert, I've been watching you and that young woman.
Oh, yes, I've enjoyed watching her myself.
As an intelligent person, I flatter myself I'm above jealousy. But for your own sake, are you sure your interest in Miss Farrell isn't more than professional?
Why, yes. Yes, that explains it. Oh, how perceptive you are, Agnes.
You must fight this, Gilbert. You must devote all your energies to your current studies in hypnotism.
Strange, I didn't realize it myself. I have a curious feeling in her presence. I find I breathe harder.
The customary animalistic reactions.
Oh, Agnes, what a wonderful opportunity to study my own reactions. A highly civilized man's temporary lapse into the primitive. Well, take notes of myself, Agnes. Oh, yes, I'll take notes.
City desk, please. Hello, Joe. Kate Farrell. Me, Martha Motherly. Yes, well, it's all set. He'll probably hit me tomorrow afternoon. No, I promise not the duck. Just have Herman bring his camera and hide in the bushes next to the administration building, and I'll take care of all the rest. No, Joe McBride, I don't want to marry you. I wouldn't marry anybody who would send me out to be beaten up by another man. Oh, once we're married, you'll take care of those intimate little things. Goodbye. Oh, isn't it a lovely day, Professor?
Yes, yes indeed. Do you have a pencil, Miss Farrell?
Oh, yes, certainly. Right here.
Well, thank you.
What are you writing in that little book?
That I wish you'd call me Gilbert.
Well, couldn't you just tell me?
Well, you'll have to forgive me, Kate, if I'm engrossed in my own reactions.
Oh, of course. Gilbert.
Gilbert. I'll write that down.
Well, here we are, Professor.
Is this the bench you had in mind for our little chat?
What's wrong with this bench?
Oh, why, nothing. A lovely view of the administration building. Very peaceful on such a fine day.
It's a dreary day.
Oh, but before, you said it was lovely.
Just because you think it's a nice day, must I think it's a nice day?
Well, now steady, Miss Farrell. Your temper is...
Yeah, you leave my temper out of this.
But we must face reality, Miss Farrell.
You dare use that word to me. You dare!
Oh! Well, you struck me. Miss Farrell, defend yourself.
Oh, quick! Go ahead, hit me!
Professor Sedley, your fists.
Why, good afternoon, Dr. Dawson.
Professor Sedley, you were about to strike this woman.
Well, you know, it's a wonderful afternoon for swinging your arms.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really, Dr. Dawson? It was all my fault.
Professor Sedley, I must warn you about your conduct. I'm quite perturbed. Good day.
Good day, Dr. Dawson.
Oh, amazing.
What is?
I even like you when you lose your temper. Kate, may I borrow your pencil again? Come in.
Gilbert!
Oh, hello, Agnes.
Gilbert, I'm worried about you. That absurd infatuation. Is it any better?
No, it's worse, much worse. Oh, Agnes, I'd like your opinion on these notes. I've been trying free thought analysis.
And what are your conclusions?
Well, they're a little frightening. I've just been sitting here thinking, and this is what I've written down. Kate Farrell, pink champagne. Agnes Miller, warm beer.
Ooh, you beast!
Oh, you struck me! Agnes Miller, defend yourself!
Oh, Professor Sedley!
Oh, why? Oh, Dr. Dawson!
Mr. Sedley, the next time I find you indulging in your morbid practice of striking women, it will be my duty to inform the Board of Regents. Good day!
Hey, Kate!
Oh, Herman, what are you doing here on campus?
Joe sent me. He wants you and me to do a story on Rita LeMay, the fan dancer over at the Gaiety.
Well, what about what's...
She's suing for divorce. She says her husband tore her clothes off. Guess he couldn't afford to buy a ticket. Oh boy, this is one job I'm gonna enjoy photographing.
Fan dancer, indeed.
Ya can't say you don't get variety working on the morning journal.
Oh, I'm sorry I ever started working for the morning journal.
Kate!
Oh, Gilbert, hello.
Kate, did I understand you to say you're working for the Morning Journal?
Well, yes, you see, I've taken a part-time job there.
But Kate, you work under the same roof with Martha Motherly?
For my thesis. Well, I thought you'd like me to do it on the journalistic mind. And I'm getting material at the journal.
Well, how courageous of you, Kate.
Oh, Professor Sedley, this is Herman Lupin, a photographer.
Hi, Professor.
Well, how do you do?
I'm covering a story, interviewing a showgirl, and her, Mr. Lupin will take pictures.
Well, perhaps I should go with you in case you might need my guidance.
Oh, no, Gilbert, you can't do that.
Sure I can. Why not? You wait here. I gotta go make a phone call.
City desk, McBride. Oh, how are you, Herman? No, he is? Well, stick with Sedley. Hold on to him. I'll figure something out. Yeah, so long. Sometimes I wonder why I don't hate myself. Danny Giger, please. Hello, Danny, McBride, Morning Journal. How'd you like some publicity for the Gaiety Theater? You would? Good. Now, listen to me and I'll splash the Gaiety, Rita LeMay, and Professor Sedley all over page 1.
Hi, Herman. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Backstage Gaiety. Danny Giger's the name. Just step into the little lady's dressing room.
Hiya, Danny.
Well, folks, this is Rita LeMay.
Hi, I'm Herman, the photographer, and this here is Kate Farrell, reporter, and her friend, Professor Sedley.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, honey.
Now, Herman, you come with me, huh? And, Professor, you be sure and stay for the next number. It'll kill you. Come on, Herman.
Hey, Professor, we got something in common.
We have?
Mr. Prockley, my second husband, he taught in college.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the Kensington Barber College. Now, not that you're like Mr. Prockley, what a stinker.
Rita, about Mr. Frisbee, your current husband, didn't you charge that he tore off your clothes?
Mr. Frisbee behaved like a beast.
Kate, don't you imagine the newspaper readers would be interested in the psychology of a fan dancer?
No, Gilbert, I don't think
Yeah, it might be very interesting.
Miss LeMay, why did you become a fan dancer instead of let's say a stenographer?
Don't you mention no steno to me. Mr. Frisbee has a stenographer, and what those two do...
Never mind. What I'm getting at is simply this. In wearing your scanty costume publicly, Miss LeMay, do you gratify any tendency toward exhibitionism?
Gilbert!
Listen, you slob. I am a respectable woman. I cook, I knit, I crochet. I have been a good wife 5 times.
Hey, Professor, come and take a gander at the next act.
Very well. It's rather warm in here.
You go ahead, Gilbert. I want to speak to Miss LeMay alone.
What a joke.
Now you stand right here, Professor, in the wings. I'll be right back.
Well, thank you, Mr. Giga.
Okay, girls, there he is, the guy who likes to sock women. Now you know what you have to do when you get out on the stage. Now, Professor.
Yes?
Come here a minute, will ya? Okay, girls, you're on. Take him away.
Wait, no, madam. Wait, ladies. Stop. Unhand me, girls. Don't take me out there. Well, let me up. Oh, I'm on stage.
All right, hold it, Professor. It should make a great picture.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at that picture. Look at that picture. Ain't it a Lulu?
Oh, Joe, you're not going to print it.
Katie, don't you realize what this photograph means?
It means you're playing a filthy trick on a decent guy who wouldn't hurt anybody.
Well, what do you call that libel suit? Take it or leave it? Sedley's on his way over now. We got him on the spot, Katie.
Oh, Joe, don't you think we have it coming to us?
Have it come? Have you fallen for this guy?
Of course not.
Hey, Joe, here comes Sedley.
Gilbert!
Hello, Kate. I suppose you are McBride.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let me present you with this picture of yourself. Very tasty.
Oh, Gilbert, if I'd realized...
I know, Kate.
Oh, would you rather I didn't publish it, Sedley?
I suppose you're going to offer to suppress this picture if I withdraw my libel suit against the paper.
Bride boy.
McBride, I have an overwhelming desire to punch your nose.
Yeah? Oh, go ahead and try it.
I will.
Gilbert, you're wonderful. You knocked him out.
Now, if I could only find Martha Motherly, I'll do the same to her.
Well, come on. Let's get out of here, Gilbert.
You're right, Kate. I've had just about enough of this place as I can stand.
Hey, Joe. Joe, you all right?
Yeah. I'm okay. Hand the phone down here.
Oh, yeah, here. Here you are, Joe.
Hello? Give me the composing room. Hello, Al. Yank out that beauty contest picture on the front page. That's right. We're running the picture of Professor Sedley instead.
Well, this is where I live, Gilbert. It was very sweet of you to take me home.
Oh, I like taking you home. I'll write that down.
Are you writing in that silly book again?
Oh, well, it's just that I had an urge to kiss you. It's inconceivable, of course.
Of course.
Temperamentally, we're oceans apart.
Well, we're pretty close physically.
Well, I must be completely honest with you, Kate. My feeling for you is...
Yes, Gilbert?
Well, very likely it's essentially chemical. Like what the deer feels for the doe or the gander for the goose.
Well, is that bad?
Well,
Do you want to kiss me?
yes. Oh, I'll write that in the book.
Throw the book away, Professor. We're going to write a new one, starting now.
Gilbert! Gilbert!
Oh, yes, Agnes.
I believe I found the cure for your infatuation.
Oh, it's hopeless. Quite hopeless. Might as well face it.
This book may change your mind.
Why, it's the Bryce College Alumni Annual. Here's Kate's picture. Catherine Farrell, now reporter for the Midwest City Morning Journal.
You see?
But Agnes, she told me all about her connection with the newspaper.
This annual, Gilbert, was published 3 years ago.
Well, that's impossible.
Look at the date. I've had the journalism department check on Miss Farrell. She happens to use the pen name of Martha Motherly.
Oh, you mean Kate? Oh, Kate was responsible for those articles. Oh, no.
Professor Sedley, you've gone too far.
Oh, Dr. Dawson, what did...
Look at this picture in the morning journal.
Oh, no.
Gilbert, you and those shameless women, how could you?
Oh, what difference does it make now?
What difference does it make? Professor Sedley, I'm calling an immediate meeting of the Board of Regents. You should be wise to prepare your resignation.
Joe, how could you do it? How could you print that picture?
Aw, Katie, it was news, wasn't it?
News? I'm quitting. If that's news, I'm through.
Now, Katie, you just
Oh,
can't...
and on top of everything else, the poor guy found out I'm Martha Motherly. Now he won't even speak to me.
Listen, kitten, I'm human. I could be jealous. Sedley got my goat. Now, Katie, look, I love you. Marry me, kitten, marry me. I'll do anything you want.
Anything but be a human being instead of an animated typewriter.
I'll give it up. I'll quit honest newspaper business. I'll take a publicity job. Katie, I'll be the best husband you ever saw.
Oh, Joe, you really think we'd be happy together?
Together, I don't know. It's apart I'm worried about. I'll write my resignation right now. Just watch me, Katie. City desk. Oh, hello, Sedley. Now, wait a minute. Don't get sore at me. Oh, well, yeah, that's too bad. Now, look. Sue anybody you want. I'm not even working here anymore. I'm leaving. I'm getting married to Kate. Kate Farrell. That's right, married. Sedley? Sedley? Funny. He hung up.
Oh, Joe, you shouldn't have told him that.
Well, I was excited.
But it isn't true.
Look, I'll show you what kind of husband you're getting. Sedley said the Board of Regents is fixing to bounce him because of that picture. Why don't you go down there and straighten it all out, huh? Well, you'll feel better then, and then we can talk about us.
Professor Sedley?
Yes, Dr. Dawson.
It's my privilege to inform you that the Board of Regents has refused your resignation.
They have?
Miss Farrell, that Martha Motherly girl, she told us the whole story, blamed herself for everything.
You mean Kate defended me?
In glowing terms, Sedley, she speaks very highly of you.
Well, would you say that she sounded fond of me?
Well, I would say that, yes. A fine girl, Sedley, a fine girl. If I were you...
Yes, Dr. Dawson.
Think it over, Sedley. That's Agnes Mealer. Somehow she reminds me of,
warm beer.
Good afternoon, Dr. Dawson.
Good afternoon, Professor Wheeler. Mealer.
Gilbert, you'll be remaining at the university.
So it appears.
How wonderful. I'm doing research in one of your own specialties, hypnosis and its bearing on emotion.
Oh, yes, a very interesting subject.
Gilbert, do you think that hypnosis can cause a person to reveal his true emotion? Love, for instance?
Yes, but only true emotion. For instance, they wouldn't lie about hypnosis.
Yes, Gilbert.
Well, that's it. Hypnosis.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, that's how I'll find out about her.
About who, Gilbert?
Miss Farrell.
But Gilbert, she's just a body without a mind.
And you, Agnes, are a mind without a... Oh, hand me that phone.
Who are you phoning?
My attorney. I want him to get my lawsuit into court as soon as possible.
Your Honor, my client, Professor Sedley, wishes to make a statement.
Proceed.
Your Honor, Martha Motherly, in one of her articles, alleged that I'm a dabbler in hypnotism. I should like to prove to the court that I'm not a dabbler, but a professional.
Proceed.
I shall do this by hypnosis in this very courtroom.
Objection.
Your Honor, this demonstration is pertinent to our case.
Proceed.
To set the defense at ease, Your Honor, I should like to perform the experiment on one of the defendants, Miss Catherine Farrell.
Well, in that case, we're willing to cooperate.
Miss Farrell, please. Now, Miss Farrell, I want you to follow my instructions.
Yes, Gilbert?
I suggest that you observe this very closely, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Kate, just watch my eyes and try to relax. Steadily, steadily. Your sight is growing dim. Dim. Your sight is growing dim. Now, Miss Farrell, you're asleep, but you hear what I say, don't you?
I hear what you say.
You don't love McBride, do you?
I don't love McBride.
You won't marry McBride.
I won't marry McBride.
You love me, don't you?
I love you.
Repeat after me. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
You'll marry me, won't you?
Well, it's about time that you asked me. Of course I'll marry you, darling.
Oh, but Kate, weren't you hypnotized?
Not for a second.
Well, then why did you say I love you?
Because I do.
Yeah, but what about McBride?
Oh, I never really said I'd marry him. Besides, he could never leave the paper. Look at him. He's already writing the story.
What a headline, Katie. Svengali courts girl in courtroom.
Oh, come on, Katie. Let's get away somewhere. Your Honor, this concludes my demonstration in hypnotism. With your permission, Your Honor...
I love you, Gilbert.
Well, Your Honor...
I'll marry you, Gilbert.
No, thanks, Judge. I already have a girl.
Gilbert,
I love you.
I love you. I love you.
Our guests will return in just a moment. Next week, the NBC Theater turns the pages of fantasy as we bring you the dramatic screen story, It's a Wonderful Life, with the original team of director and star, Frank Capra and Jimmy Stewart. And now, here again is tonight's star, Ray Milland, and screen director Sidney Landfield.
Sid, now that we've finished The Trouble with Women, I have a great idea for a sequel picture.
Sequel to The Trouble with Women?
Sure. We'll call it The Trouble with Screen Directors.
Ray, there just isn't enough film in Hollywood to make that picture.
Well, it's a comedy about a screen director who finds himself on a radio show, and you are a natural for the part.
You mean it's going to be a picture about what happens when I get in front of a microphone?
Exactly.
That isn't comedy, Ray. That's tragedy.
You mean you're really afraid of a little old microphone after all the people you've taught to act?
You want a one-word answer?
I do.
Yes.
Well, in that case, I'll teach you the 3 magic words of radio. Once you know those words, Sid, you won't have to be nervous anymore. Now listen.
Just those 3 words?
Well, that's right. Now go ahead and try them.
Okay, I will. Good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.
And good night to you, Ray Milland and Sidney Landfield. The Trouble with Women was presented through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures. The script was adapted for radio by Richard Allen Simmons, and original music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell, and starred not only Ray Milland and Mary Jane Croft, but also Frank Lovejoy. Here with you tonight are the current stars of the Riverside Township Radio Players. Professor Sedley, that Ray Milland's sound-alike, was Jacob Palka. The part of Martha Motherly, alias Kate Farrell, was alias Donna Amesmeyer. As Agnes Wheeler-Mealer-Beeler, that part was played by Sue Gajinski. We couldn't reach Frank Lovejoy to repeat as Joe McBride, so instead we cast John Byhun. Danny, the nightclub impresario, as well as a reporter and a lawyer, was the multi-voiced George Sucky. The role of Rita, the exotic dancer, was played by Allison Byhun, who has never, well, never mind. Let us say, proceed. Dr. Wilmer Dawson, as well as the judge, those were the roles of Tom Duggan. The part of the original director, Sidney Landfield, was played by Andre Dixon. The voice of Reporter 1 and Lawyer 1, and all the music and sound effects belong to our Marty McNulty. I filled in as Herman, the photographer, and my name is Jay Summerfield. Thank you. And now let's bring back Ellie with a closing comment to tonight's show.
We hope you enjoyed our shenanigans tonight. We'll come again next month. We'd like to especially thank the Riverside Township for supporting and backing us up. And just want to mention that their new supervisor is Vera Wilt. So we thank her very much, along with the entire board. Also, in addition, our cast volunteers, we thank our 2 technical gentlemen over there, John Gelsomino and Lorenza Cordoba. They are responsible for airing our shows on local TV. And the other thank you we'd like to give is to Andre, who puts us on the internet, on YouTube, so you can anytime dial in. What are we dialing in? Look up riversidetownshipradioplayers.com, and you can see all of our shows, I think from the past 19 years. Wow. Did we change? Oh, no. Now, before we go, a word from next month's director, and that's Andre, and he'll clue you in on his choices for next month's show. Andre?
I have to apologize to all of you. Those who have been here for Halloween show the last few years may have noticed that we've had a variety of entrances to the show. I'm having difficulty coming up with something new this year. But I will come up with something different. Next month, we're going to enthrall you with 3 programs. There was a show called The Planet Man, sometime in the early 50s. No one ever heard it. We're going to do episode 1. We're also going to do a Mystery in the Air program called The Horla. And a Lights Out program called Death Robbery. October 27th is the Friday that we're going to be here. I expect each and every one of you to bring 2 people with you. I mean, we're giving you the best that we got.
You have to understand, Andre, he's a former principal.
And that was a much easier job. See you next month, Friday, October 27th, same time, same place. Bring your friends. Have a good day.